Hello, everyone, and welcome to the quarterfinals here of SCG Orlando, our standard open part of the SCG Tour, sponsored by Ultimate Guard. Cedric Phillips, Craig Krempels here in the booth. We've got Nick Miller down in the feature match area as we begin to watch Jeff Hoogland, number one overall seed here today.
Looking for his first win.
Yeah. Big number one against Danny Jessup, number 1 and number 25 respectively on our SCG Tour Player of the Year race. We have other matches to hopefully bring you here in the quarterfinals, as well as the star-studded quarterfinals here in Orlando, but we focus our attention on number one everywhere right now in the SCG Tour. That's Jeff Hoogland as he plays in Evolving Wilds and passes the turn back. Jessup will sacrifice his. Craig, you think Jeff's going to get this one?
I do. Danny Jessup's deck is not super aggressive. It's not going to jump out ahead of Jeff. I think Hoogland's just going to have enough time to tutor for the right pieces, play his Wrath of Gods effectively, deploy some Planeswalkers, and take this game down.
Well, you see Jessup is going to search for a planes with his Evolving Wilds. We move to his second turn here in just a moment. You saw Jeff start off with a Hissing Quagmire and Evolving Wilds of his own, so we'll see what Jessup has for his second turn here with his very innovative 4-color Crypto with Rights deck. It's a Forest and a Duskwatch Recruiter here for Jessup. Jeff will sacrifice that Evolving Wilds. We'll see what land he wants to dig out of the old deck. It'll be a Plains for Jeff. Got to get all the colors online for his Abzan Seasons Past deck. And now we're going to head his way.
And you know, I explain it. It sounds so simple. Rarely plays out that way.
That's true. That's true.
That's why we play the games, right?
That's right. The games are a lot more complicated than that. Here's an Anguish Unmaking. Jeff will have to lose 3 life to take care of that Duskwatch Recruiter, but that is a good card that he does not want to stand on the other side of the table.
Sure, but that Anguish Unmaking is one of Jeff's paths for dealing with Crypto with Rights or the Nahiri Planeswalker.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have a lot of good ways to take care of those cards otherwise.
And Elvish Visionary is going to draw Jessup a card. Now here's you have my Coast, simply pass the turn back. Note the colorless lands there in Danny Jessup's deck for cards like Eldrazi Displacer. Here's a Sylvan Advocate for Jeff. He'll pass the turn back over to Danny. Danny will untap those 3 lands. He'll draw a card, his 4th turn of the game. Picked up a copy of Nahiri, you mentioned it. It's a card that Jeff has to be able to deal with.
Yeah. Yeah, once Nahiri goes ultimate, he can search up some pretty good ones. He's got a dragon in there to go get. You know, getting a utility creature would never be bad.
Here's a Crypto with Right. That'll allow Jessup to also cast a Reflector Mage with the help of an Elvish Visionary. And now that Sylvan Advocate is back in Jeff Hoogland's hand. Crypto with Light is a very powerful one. Creatures you control they can tap for any mana of any color to your mana pool.
And it looks like Danny's kind of doing all of the things that his deck does. Starting to get set up. The only issue is that even as he does this, he's not taking big chunks out of Jeff's life total.
Yeah. Jeff's going to take a turn off to cast a Dark Petition here. I'm curious to see what he will search for. Languish is certainly an option.
He's not going to tell us.
No, it's a hidden thing now. No Spell Mastery there either. The next Dark Petition will have Spell Mastery, but this one does not. Quick update for you guys, and you can expect some updates to fly in pretty quickly here as Lucas Kiefer does win game number 1 with his Mono White Human stack over David Bolenbach playing 9 mid-range. You felt that would happen?
I'm shocked.
Yeah. Just here we go. Here we go. Great. Humble Craig here in the booth.
Got to pull it back a little bit. Is that what you're telling me?
You do you, man. You do you. Jessup. You're getting ready to set something up this turn.
I'm sure you'll find ways to be humble after the Cavs win tonight.
Oh, let's try not to focus on that too much right now. Just trying to focus on the match at hand.
Don't let the wheels come off yet.
Not yet. Jessup played Elvish Visionary, drew a card. Played a land on our way. It's going to come across here for 2 with a Reflector Mage. Going to leave up the ability to cast Collected Company with a little assist from Elvish Visionary as we go Jeff's way. Jeff will draw a copy of Languish. And now he'll cast his first Languish of the match. Certainly won't be the last. Elvish Visionary will float a mana. Creatures will go away. And now we'll see a Collected Company here from Jessup. Top 6 cards. Hopefully you get to take 2 of them, place them on the battlefield. You see a Loam Dryad there, a Duskwatch Recruiter, Prairie Stream, Battlefield Forge, another Battlefield Forge, and a Llanowar Waste. So 2 come in, the rest go to the bottom.
And with that Duskwatch Recruiter, along with the Crypto with Rights, it almost doesn't matter what the second creature is that Danny gets. He just wants to make sure he keeps having little creatures. He can activate the Recruiter every single turn and just start powering through his deck.
For Jessup, he picked up a copy of Matter Shaper this turn. He still has a Nahiri in his hand. There's a Reflector Mage to pick up that Sylvan Advocate. Now here comes Dustwatch Recruiter for 2. Hoagland's going to fall down a little bit lower. And now a Matter Reshaper. Jeff will quickly untap. Time to draw a card. Picked up another copy of Dark Petition. As we have another update here for you. Jerry Thompson does win game number 1 over Brennan DeCandio. So green-white tokens up a game over the white-blue aggro deck.
Now that makes me nervous.
Yeah?
Jerry might have rope-a-doped me here.
He said he didn't like the matchup.
Yeah.
Those are his words, not mine.
Yeah, I shouldn't believe the man.
Jeff's going to cast another Dark Petition here. It's the second one of the game. He's got Spell Mastery this time. And he'll add a card to his deck. To his hand. 3 black mana floating. And we'll see what he wants to search for.
Yeah, and Danny's already starting to scoop up all of his creatures.
Yes, he is. There's Languish. Looking to clear him away. There'll be a Matter Reshaper trigger. And that'll bring an Evolving Wilds to the battlefield. And now there's a Quetzalcoatlus, and Danny will sacrifice the Evolving Wilds.
Yeah, Jeff not doing too bad here.
Well, I think he's pretty happy so far.
Yeah, he's still at a healthy 13 life. There's nothing on the board, obviously. Danny doesn't have a ton of cards in his hand. He's able to battle through the first collected company.
No real punishment there from the Matter Reshaper trigger,
yeah,
which is nice if you're Jeff. And now there's a Sylvan Advocate in Jeff's hand. I think he's just showing that because he had that earlier.
Yeah, just confirming that it's in his hand.
Mm-hmm. Now we're going to go back Jessup's way. Looks like it might be time for that Nahiri here from Danny. And it is. So that's going to move up to 6. Discard Yavimaios, draw a card. The powerful Planeswalker. The follow-up is another Dustwatch Recruiter.
And that Nahiri's going to have a tough time making an impact this game. Jeff has the Sylvan Advocate that we know about in his hand, backed up by some manlands on the board.
Yep. There's a Linvala, and now a Sylvan Advocate, and Jeff is going to gain some life. Won't get the 3/3 Angel from the Linvala, but going up to 18 and a 5/5 flyer is still pretty gosh darn good.
Yep.
Over to Jessup, Elvish Visionary, the draw.
And Jeff has the resources to activate 2 of his lands next turn.
And we have seen this so many times from Jeff. His deck, it's 3-color Seasons Past deck with Dark Petition, yes, but a lot of the time it's a Sylvan Advocate and Creature Land deck.
Yep.
And he's done that so many times here this weekend.
Yeah, he's basically just said the rest of the creatures don't matter a whole lot. I want the most efficient creature that makes the biggest impact on the board. And that's Sylvan Advocate.
Yeah. Nahiri will discard an Evolving Wilds, draw a card. Looks like it may have been Eldrazi Displacer. Not sure you want to go displacing Linvala. That's for sure.
Well, he might need to.
Yeah? Jessup looking at Displacer and Elvish Visionary right now. He's already used his copy of Nahiri that's on the battlefield. That's why it's on 8. And it can actually kind of threaten its ultimate right now. I don't know what the best thing to get out of his deck is. But we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Certainly no Emrakul's to find.
Dragons.
There's Eldrazi Displacer. And now Jessup will just pass the turn back. So over to Jeff we go. He'll draw a card. Didn't get a great look. We know he's got a land in his hand, though. And he has 2 creature lands, as you did mention. 1 Hissing Quagmire and 1 Shambling Vent.
And he's staring down this Nahiri. He's got to get some counters off of that thing.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, Danny's able to tutor up the Dragon Lord Atarka.
Okay.
It's going to eat at least one of Jeff's creatures. And then it can get blinked with the Displacer.
That's scary. That's a good time to draw Ruinous Path. What do you think?
Not bad.
Yep.
Well played, Jeff.
Now the question is, do you want to Ruinous Path the Displacer, the Recruiter, or the Nahiri? These are all real targets.
Yes.
I don't think the decision is very straightforward. I think the card you're most scared of is Nahiri, but I can see why he's making this decision. And he's also going to Awaken and bring Llanowar Waste forward.
Yeah, he's saying killing the Displacer gets that threat off the board, and then he's still going to have enough creatures to pressure the Nahiri, at least get a couple of the counters off of it.
Yep. Now, Jessup's got to make a decision on what he wants to do. Does he want to use Displacer? Does he want to use the Duskwatch Recruiter? But you can certainly tell that Nahiri is going to get checked in a big way this turn.
Yeah.
And remember, with Sylvan Advocate on the battlefield, that land that's going to be awoken, that land over waste, is actually going to be a 6/6.
6/6.
Yep.
Big boy.
So going to Displacer the Sylvan Advocate. Bye Eldrazi Displacer. 4 counters there.
Yeah, I like Jeff's play here.
Me too. We'll assume, yeah, both creatures going to go towards Nahiri. Not much of a surprise there.
And then Nahiri, no longer a threat, and it looks like Jeff's just comfortably in the driver's seat at this point.
Yeah, with Nahiri down to 3, you're not scared of it so much anymore. You just see Jessup draw a Forest.
And Jeff has played this game quite well. There was no panic in him. The turn before when Nahiri had 6 counters on it, he was like, I'll just deploy the Angel. And then the next turn, he draws a card that could just kill the Planeswalker immediately, and he's like, no, I don't need to do that. Let me get rid of the Displacer. I'll just attack the Planeswalker twice if that's what I need to do.
Yep. Now, Nahiri can take down.
Yep.
Take care of Linvala. And now, Jessup going to play a Loam Drive. And pass the turn back. That said, Danny's still in a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
Jeff draws a card. I believe a Grasp of Darkness is what he may have found.
Well,
There's
yeah.
Llanowar Waste.
Jeff has so many good draw steps here, and he still has all of these creature lands to work with.
It looks like he's going to fire up 2 of them. Shambling Vent, Hissing Quagmire. Let's go to the red zone. And it looks like the creature lands and Sylvan Advocate are going to go after Nahiri. The Llanowar Waste, that's a 6/6, is going to go after Jessup. No interest in blocking here. So he'll just have to take this damage, lose his Planeswalker, and simply pass the turn back. So, Reflector Mage to draw here for Danny Jessup. And as Danny tries to figure out what he wants to do with this Reflector Mage, another update here for you. The Tom the Boss Ross, White-Red Human Smear against Charles Gindy. Well, he's up a game on the draw that game.
Yeah.
Notable. Reflector Mage, that's going to take care of Llanowar Waste. And Jeff will draw. Transgress the Mind, it appears.
Little late to the party here.
A touch. But hey, let's scope it out. See what's going on. Forest. It's always nice to see when your opponent doesn't have anything.
Yeah.
When you target them with a discard spell.
The coast is clear.
So that when they do peel something to kill you with, you know they got lucky.
Yeah.
Here comes Shambling Vet and Sylvan Advocate. Jessup's got some real decisions to make now. You know, the thing about this deck that he's playing, it's kind of a deck that it all works really well together, but the individual pieces aren't particularly powerful.
Yeah, some of the cards are, I don't want to say embarrassing, but they're just unfortunate draws at some points in the game.
Yeah.
Another Lone Dryad here is just kind of a laughable card.
Yeah.
Even drawing that Reflector Mage, which was one of the best draw steps he could have had there, just is clearly not going to get the job done here.
Yeah, just not strong enough right now.
Yeah.
There goes Lone Dryad. It's going to do a little bit of blocking. We're going to head back Jessup's way. He's at 9, Jeff at 26. Jeff wants to see if he can play with Llanowar Waste or not. That's the question. I'll pass that turn back. Jessup's got a Forest, and he draws another Forest. He'll play that Forest and simply pass the turn back. Jeff going to draw. Read them their bones.
We'll see if he even wants to mess around with this card.
I'm curious if he just wants to say, you know what, I'm just going to fire up some more lands. Looks like he will take the time to read the bones. Fall down to 24. Obnixilis, Sylvan Advocate. Yeah, I'd take both of those too.
Not bad.
Yeah, those are just fine. Another Advocate here for Jeff. Shambling Vents. Fire in there yet again. The Visionary is going to jump in front of the creature land. Danny will take 4. He's going to fall down to 5. He'll have to pass the turn back. Prairie Stream, no more. Jeff Hoogland's going to win game number 1 here over Danny Jessup. Obs on seasons past, very quickly up a game here over 4 color right. As number 1 overall seed and number 1 player on the SCG Tour is currently up a game over Danny Jessup. So we turn our attention to the sideboard. That's where these players will go, and that's where Danny Jessup's going to go. 4 Sylvan Advocate, 4 Jamoka's Command, 4 Reality Smasher, 2 Negate, and a Nissa Vastwood Seer. I think Reality Smasher's the big one here. Correct?
Yeah, so do I. The Negate's also a pretty important card that Danny can bring in. Jeff would like to have some duresses and cards like that to be able to combat like Collected Company or Cryptolith Rights, but I don't think it's right to bring them in this matchup.
Yeah, I think the Cryptolith Rights are going to go here pretty quickly for Danny. It's just not a great card in the matchup as we saw there in that particular game. It assisted with a few things, but nothing major, because Jeff can just kind of pick him apart about the cards that do matter.
Yeah, and Danny needs to be careful about deploying too many creatures to the board and getting blown out.
Yeah, by Languish.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. So you see on Jeff's side, 3 Duress, 2 Den Protector, 2 Transgress the Mind, 2 Kalida's Trader of Get, 2 Lambhold Pacifist, an Ultimate Price, a Dragonlord Jamoka, an Infinite Obliteration, and a Seasons Past. He knows Reality Smashers are coming.
Yep.
But what do we like here out of his sideboard?
Well, I definitely think Kalidas is a good path for him to be on.
Okay.
If he thinks that Danny's going to try to be more aggressive, maybe he wants these Lambhold Pacifists, but that doesn't feel great to me. I wouldn't make a whole lot of changes.
I think the matchup's pretty positive.
Yeah.
The one thing about this match when you're playing as 4-color right from a Obs on Seasons Past deck or a black-white control deck is you just don't want to lose to Reality Smasher.
Yeah.
You have to do your best to be able to deal with that sort of card. So Jeff's got some useful tools that kind of interact with it. Ob-Nixilis kills it. Mm-hmm. You've got Sorin that can take care of it. Linvala can trade with it. Stuff like that.
Yes.
Just make sure you don't get blown out by that thing.
Well, and he doesn't even mind getting 2 for 1 when he removes it with, like, Ruinous Path.
Yeah, that's fine. Just don't get, hit for 10 by it. That's the trick. So that gives you an idea of both players' options here. And as they get ready, we'll get ready to talk about the StarCityGames.com weekly sale. It's going to end tomorrow at 10:59 a.m. East Coast time, so make sure you do check it out. Up to 50% off of select promotional cards, including Damnation, Scavenging Ooze, Faithless Looting, and old Batterskull there. You ever cast a Batterskull?
I've put it into play.
You a Stoneforge Mystic kind of guy?
Oh, yeah.
You're lame. Really? I thought you were a Storm kind of guy, man. Not a Stoneforge guy.
I am. I like a lot of avenues, as long as they're kind of unfair.
Okay, you dabble. That's fair. A bunch of other promotional cards over there as well, StarCityGames.com. We'll have a new weekly sale for you tomorrow, 11 a.m. East Coast time. You can check that out. But for now, up to 50% off of select promotional cards as we learn more about number 1 everywhere here on the SCG Tour. That is Jeff Hoogland, a player who made the drive here from Bloomington, Illinois with the wife and both the kids. That's not a short one.
No open wins.
That might change this weekend.
Maybe this long trip will make it all worthwhile.
That might change this weekend for the 25-year-old. He's got 13 open top 8s. We update the graphic next week. It'll be 14 with 1 invitational top 8. No wins, as you did mention, but if he keeps things going here this weekend, he's only lost. He lost to Jerry at the last round.
Mm-hmm.
You can see it to Lucas Kiefer to let him into the top 8, and also because Lucas not feeling great.
Sure.
So we'll see what he's capable of here this weekend with his Obs on Seasons Past deck. And keep in mind, next week when we go to Dallas, Texas, he's going to be doing well in Modern there.
Yep.
So perhaps he gets his first W next weekend. We'll see. Though this weekend's looking pretty good here for number 1 on the SCG Tour leaderboard. Going to get ready for game number 2 here. Update you on the matches really quickly. Tom Ross up a game over Charles Gindy. White-Red Humans Mirror. Gindy, the number 4 overall seed. Tom Ross, number 5 overall seed. You got Jerry Thompson, number 6 overall seed with green-white tokens, of course. He's up a game over Brennan, DeCandio, who is playing white-blue aggro. And then Lucas Kiefer, number 2 overall seed. Not feeling too great, but he does have a winner underneath his belt with mono-white humans. Up a game over David Bolenbach, playing Naya midrange.
He picked up that win real fast.
Yeah, things went pretty good game 1.
Yeah.
Both players are going to take a look at their opening hands here. Jeff will be on the draw, Danny on the play. Well, looks like they're both happy. Yav Mayakos is where Jessup will start. For Hoogland, he picked up a copy of Wreath of Bones. He'll start with an Evolving Wilds. Over to Jessup we go. It's a Plains. And Jessup looks like he's going to take 1 to play a Sylvan Advocate. Jeff will sacrifice his Evolving Wilds, and while he digs a land out of his deck, we'll let you know that David Bolenbach did tie things up against Lucas Kiefer. His 9 mid-range deck is going to game number 3 against mono-white humans. But, as we have said so many times, he's on the draw game 3.
Yeah. Well, it does get a little better for him post-board. He has some more Radiant Flames to bring in. That's a 3-mana Wrath effect.
Yeah.
Which is right where you want to be against those decks.
Yeah, it's very helpful. And that is a Lambhold Pacifist from Jeff. And while Danny untaps and takes his third turn, we'll let you know that Jerry Thompson lost game number 2 against Brennan DeCandio. So white-blue aggro, green-white tokens going to game number 3. Jessup misses his third land. He's just got a Duskwatch Recruiter, and all he can do is pass the turn back. No good attacks to be had because of the pacifist, as now Jeff Hoogland has a Canopy Vista, and it's a great time to read them their bones. So, pay 2 life, scry 2 cards, and he'll draw 2 cards in just a moment.
Yeah, and I was wondering if Jeff was going to bring in these Lambhole pacifists. It's interesting. It's not where I think you want to be, but maybe it's just too important for him to mitigate the early damage, even if he loses an additional card to Languish later in the game.
Yeah, I think so. It is just kind of a brick wall that Jessup does not have a great answer to.
Yeah.
And maybe the way the game plays out is that Jessup says, all right, I'll Reflector Mage that, and you get to sweep that up with the Languish.
Sure.
You still have your Pacifist. There's a Sylvan Advocate. And Jessup going to miss the land drop again. All he can do is pass the turn back.
Yeah, and this board's getting real cluttered on Jessup's side.
Yeah, there's your Languish. This is what you kind of mentioned.
Yeah.
You know, the Pacifist sits there. You lose it to the Languish, but you've cleaned everything up.
Yeah, Danny had to commit so much more to the board.
Jessup going to draw a card, but not a land off that Elvish Mystic. As we head over to Hoogland for his turn 5, he's got another Canopy Vista. I think we might have Ob Nixilis now. We do. Elevator going up on the powerful Planeswalker. Jeff will lose a life to draw a card. We'll head back over to Jessup, see if he can draw his third land finally. He sort of did.
We see this so many times.
Good old Evolving Wilds.
The decks just mock you sometimes.
Jeff going to his 6th turn. He'll start with Ob Nixilis up to 6. Pay a life to do so. He'll fall down to 16. And while Jeff figures out how he wants to take the rest of his 6th turn here, Tom Ross is good at Magic. And this time he's better than Charles Gindy. Wins his match 2-0. White-Red Humans moving on. Tom Ross going to play the winner of this match, and it might be old Jeff Hoogland here in just a moment, as there is Sorin. Elevator going down on the Planeswalker. Jeff will gain a little bit of life back. Jessup will sacrifice the Evolving Wild. It's going to finally get a third land out of his deck, put it onto the battlefield.
Yeah, Jeff just firmly in the driver's seat. 2 Planeswalkers with lots of loyalty sitting on them.
Yeah.
Danny's not even close to deploying a reality smasher to get one off the board.
Yep. And that's what makes these Planeswalkers so powerful. Ob Nixilis in situations like this, kind of cribbing this from Brad Nelson a little bit when he was teaching me how to play black-white, but he said, Ob Nixilis starts at 5, goes to 6,
yep.
And then Reality Smasher can knock it down to 1. And it's not dead yet, but, Reality Smasher actually has to go after that, because if it doesn't, Ob Nixilis just kills it.
Yes.
Kind of the same thing with Sorin, too.
Yep.
So it's a good solution to the problem. And Jeff has these active Planeswalkers. He has an Anguish Unmaking in hand. I mean, life is pretty good here for number 1.
Yeah, if they have to use 2 attacks to take care of either of these Planeswalkers, you've drawn cards multiple times with your Planeswalkers, and you haven't taken 10 damage from the Reality Smasher.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. You saw Nissa of Aswit's come down for Jessup. We got to search up the forest and place it onto the battlefield as his land drop for the turn. For Hoogland, it's a Hissing Quagmire as his 7th land. He's already used Ob Nixilis. Hasn't used Sorin just yet, though. Now Sorin's going to take care of that Nissa. Jeff will go up to 18, it appears, and pass the turn back.
Yeah, and Jeff just has a boatload of cards in his hand right now.
Yeah. Danny will pass the turn back. 4 mana, nothing to do. After missing all those land drops, that's just weird.
That is weird. Maybe he's just giving up.
Ob Nixilis is going to go up to 8. Hoagland will fall down to 17. Sorin will reveal Shambling Vent.
Jeff will look at the 25 cards in his hand right now.
There's a couple. There's a couple over there. Linvala among them. I think he's just going to pass the turn back. Here's a Collected Company from Jessup. That's going to resolve. No Hollow Moonlights here. Duskwatch Recruiter, Sylvan Advocate, Matter Reshaper, Prairie Stream, along with a couple other lands. We'll see which 2 cards Jessup does select, since he does have a little bit of a choice here.
Yeah, it's definitely Matter Reshaper first.
Yeah.
The second one, probably got to be the Advocate.
Jeff, while Danny is tapped out, is going to cast Anguish Unmaking. Take care of the Matter Reshaper at the cost of 3 life. Down to 14 he goes.
He probably has some interest in killing this Advocate right now, too, if he can.
Yeah, if he's got the removal spell, but he just has to discard for the turn because he's got so many cards. Yavimaya Coast the draw.
Well, then he's probably just got to block with the Hissing Quagmire.
Well, there's Reality Smasher.
All right.
But you can see, yeah, Reality Smasher on this board, whatever.
Yeah.
Not the end of the world. I think Jeff's going to fire up that hissing quagmire, as you did mention. I think one of the things Jeff would really like to set up here, too, is Linvala getting a 3-3, if it's reasonable.
Sure.
Yep. I think that's exactly why he let it go down to 1.
Yeah.
Jeff going to fall down to 13. Shambling event the draw.
He's going to fall up to 18.
Yes, he is. Yep, there's Linvala, the preserver. 3-3 Angel coming along with it. When you get the maximum from this card, it is real hard to lose. Now, Jessup does have 3 Reflector Mages in hand, so I suppose things could get a little bit interesting. Soren is going to take care of the Sylvan Advocate. Jeff going to go up to 21.
And I like Jeff just getting some cards off of the board here.
Yeah. And now here's Ruinous Path. Jeff's going to have to discard from the trigger. Given that he discarded for his turn, last turn, I think he's got a couple cards to discard.
Yeah.
Jessup will draw. Matter Reshaper. I'll have to pay 1 to play this Reflector Mage. That'll take care of the 3-3 Angel, but Linvala is still out there, looming large.
Soren.
Oh, right, those.
Of Nixilis.
Right, right. Those Planeswalkers, right.
Whole mess of lands.
Yeah. Some creature lands in there. Soren going to reveal Lambhold Pacifist.
Yep.
I could read the check card.
Yeah, you got good eyes.
Yeah, I do. I think we might see the Pacifist. Yep. Follow-up. Kalitas. And Shambling Vent. And attack for 5. Jessup down to 8.
Making it look easy.
Like he has all weekend, honestly.
Yeah.
Like this is, it's now 15-0 like Jerry had.
Yeah.
But this has been a pretty dominant weekend for Jeff.
Yeah, it feels like he's found the right mix of cards.
Yeah. You know, Atlanta, he played the same deck, but he had Tireless Trackers then and some other cards, and maybe it wasn't the perfect mix just then. But like you said, I think he's found the right mix this weekend. Jeff with English on Making, gonna play a Swamp. This is a Sylvan Advocate, which means those creature lands are enormous. I think he's gonna fire up at least 1. Let's make it 2. This is so much fun. Beat you down.
Yeah,
That's going to do it. Jeff Hoogland going to win this match over Danny Jessup. 2-0. Obs on Seasons Past. Destroys the 4-color right deck. And now Jeff Hoogland's going to move on and face Tom Ross next round. Me oh my.
Yeah, made it look easy.
Yes, he did.